Ladies and gentlemen, the Rock Prairie Big Band.
Thank you very much, everybody, and welcome to the Rock Prairie Big Band's presentation of Old and New 2. This evening's concert will feature some tunes that come from the present, some very fresh and new tunes, and some very old, not unfresh tunes, but tunes that you'll know from the classic repertoire. Our first selection was indeed Birdland, made famous by Weather Report and Joseph Zawinul. Our next selection takes us way back to the classics, still a very popular tune, Woodchopper's Ball. Now, a little hint about this tune, actually, this next tune, is that it actually is in blues form. And as I teach all my students when I teach jazz history, it all came from the blues. And indeed, a lot of tunes you might not ever think of are in the blues, like, say, Pink Floyd's Money. Doing some cross-genreization here. But think about it. Go home and listen to it on YouTube. It's in the blues form, I kid you not. So now we have an earlier version of the blues in Woodchopper's Ball. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That featured Frank Liston on trumpet, Amy Van Duren on tenor sax, and Derek Schvink on the bass. And while I'm at it, why don't I go ahead and introduce the rest of the saxophone section right now. We've got Scott Jornes on baritone sax. You'll be hearing him tonight playing some solos. Melanie Buchler on second tenor saxophone. Joel Peterson on lead alto sax. We have Sandy Osborne on second alto sax, and then Amy Van Duren, as mentioned, on lead tenor. Thank you. Now we go from older to newer. And I had a chance to work with this composer of the next tune while I was at University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. This is a tune called Minor Mystery, written by Ellen Rowe, who is on faculty still at the University of Michigan as one of their jazz faculty. And this tune here was designed really more for the high school age group, but nonetheless it's a fun tune, a lot of fun to put together, and has good ensemble playing that you'll hear this evening. Solos as we take them. Although actually, sorry about this. Usually I'm a little more prepared. Yes, we have Scott Jornes, Pete Peterson on trombone, and then Amy Van Duren playing solos along with Ben. You've got one too, right? Ben Henniger on trumpet. So here comes A Minor Mystery. Thank you very much. Our next selection is the standard Cherokee, so we go back to the older times, if you will, to listen to our next selection. And this was made famous way back in the big band era. Lots of different groups played it. Tonight's version is more up-tempo, so it's a bit quicker and livelier than typical. With that said, though, I'm going to introduce our trombone section. So on third trombone tonight, we have Marcus Rickman. Give him a round of applause. Come on, crowd. Come on. Make him feel welcome. Or when he solos, he's going to play everything out of the key to annoy your listening sensibilities. On lead trombone, we have Pete Peterson. And then second trombone, we have the ubiquitous Bob Johnson. You'll be hearing all three of them a bit later in various pieces. All right, here comes Cherokee. Thank you very much. Well, believe it or not, we're already almost to our intermission. However, I don't usually tell jokes up here. We've actually had some folks who have soloed with us before tell some jokes, but I do have a funny anecdote this evening. Last year when we gave our concert, it was my 40th birthday, and the band surprised me, and they brought out like a big giant cake, and like fireworks went off on the stage, and watch the video. But it's 1 year later, folks, and I'm still 40. It's true. Our next selection is a tune that really is probably politically incorrect nowadays. And you have to search on YouTube as well, which everybody often does nowadays to find it. It was a tune used for a Benson & Hedges smoking commercial. Yes, cigarettes. Now, this is back in the day when the Flintstones used to advertise for cigarettes, you know, so it was much more commonly accepted, et cetera, et cetera. The point is, it's a good tune, and it's been used a couple other places too. Sometimes with dubious lineage, like we were discussing whether or not this was used on SpongeBob SquarePants, which is the popular cartoon, which wouldn't surprise me. We haven't found out yet. Nonetheless, this tune is called The Disadvantages of You by Mitch Lee. It's a very snappy tune. Definitely, you won't miss it when you hear it. And it's rather minimalist, really. In other words, it kind of repeats a fair amount, but still it's catchy. We like it. And here it is to end our first half. But before we go, don't forget to please partake with wonderful refreshments provided by Mocha Moment for a small charge. They should be out there in the lobby, firing up as we speak. So we'll end the first half with the disadvantages. we'll start out the second half with a Sammy Nestico arrangement of Fly Me to the Moon, another classic standard. And I will put in a shameless plug for Sammy Nestico. He's one of my favorite arrangers. And I'd say about a third of our tunes are arranged by him, and he just has a very good way of blending the instruments together and getting a very good ensemble when the band, of course, plays well, which they always do. I am serious about that. Which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this band meets every Wednesday evening at 9:15 p.m. And I encourage you, if you're interested, if you play big band instruments, so saxophone, trombone, trumpet, come on out. We'd be happy to have you join us. So here's the beginning of the second half with Fly Me to the Moon, in other words. Thank you very much. So, as we continue our concert, I will now introduce the rest of the band, ladies and gentlemen. Starting with the trumpets, we have Dave Wiemeister on one of the trumpets, and they do switch around. Ben Henniger, another trumpet player. Frank Liston, also on trumpet. And Bessie Heimlich, also on trumpet. And like I said, they switch around during the concert, so they don't have like part one, part two all the time. And then we have our rhythm section, starting in the back with Wendy Anderson-Markow playing vibes and auxiliary. Alexander Vance splitting the set duties, also some auxiliary. Derek Schmink, you already heard him playing earlier on bass. Jerry Lair, you just heard him a bit earlier. Yes, indeed. Patrick Knutson on guitar. Mike Ramsden currently playing the drum set. And Dana Carper on piano.
And I'm your host, Jeff Suarez.
All right, our next selection is an oldie but a goodie, and it goes way, way back, as a matter of fact. Its origin is in the Three Penny Opera, which was a comic opera going back to the 18th century. However, Kurt Weill, who was originally from Germany, used to be a art composer, if you will, classical music, very serious stuff, like opera. But he decided, although opera's not always serious, of course, but he decided to come to America because he thought the real place was musical theater in America. And so he composed music, and more than that, actually not the music so much, but more the words, for Mac the Knife. And this tune was made popular by Bobby Darin in the 50s, and other people have sang it as well. And so we have an arrangement tonight of Mac the Knife, and we've got a bit of swing, a bit of Dixieland as you're going to hear. It's a great piece, arranged by Sammy Nestico as well. So soloing on this, before I slip up, we have Ben Henniger on trumpet and Marcus Rickman on trombone. So here it is, Mac the Knife. Thank you very much. All right, our last two tunes, I'll just be right to the point, they burn. In other words, they go quick. And it's something we've been working on with the band for a while now, as far as getting the group to go quicker, but still keeping things under control, if you know what I mean. This tune here features Alexander Vance on the drum set, and it's by Louis Prima. It's Sing, Sing, Sing. You've seen it in movies. You've heard it around on the airwaves. It's fairly famous, especially for swing dancing. One year we played it, actually, we had dancers here in the front. We had Mike Maddox's dance class come and perform with us, actually. It was a lot of fun. We don't have it this year, but we have a treat, and Alex Vance playing the solo, and the band backing him up. So here we go. Sing, sing, sing. Alexander Vance on the drum set. Sing, sing, sing. Thank you. So before we end our concert tonight, already we're to this point, I'm afraid. We're having so much fun, I know. However, I have a few thank yous to dole out. First, to Dean Carmen Wilson and the UW-Rock County Administration for their continued support of our music programs. And there's Carmen right there. Thank you, Dean Wilson. Also, Carrie Hermanson and Nikki Schoening, who did our press releases. Thanks to them. Thanks to Bill Murray and JATV for videoing the programs, doing sound, and also helping us to be on the airways and also online. You can see some of our performances on YouTube, believe it or not, nowadays. I'd also like to thank, actually, we have brand new curtains. You wouldn't necessarily notice unless I said something, but it's so good to see non-hole-filled curtains. There's no fault of anybody. They just got old on us. And we replaced them, so thanks a lot to Mike Connor and the UW-Rock County Administration for helping set them up. They look fabulous. Thanks, of course, to the band. Like I mentioned, we meet at 9:15 every Wednesday night, and it's a labor of love, all volunteer. So it's wonderful working with them. This is our 9th season in this iteration. I look forward to many more seasons working. And of course, thanks to you for coming on out. We have some programs coming up. We have an orchestra concert on Monday night right here with the UW-Rock County Choirs. Also, we have summer band going on this summer where we'll be playing a concert here on campus and also one downtown Janesville at the Courthouse Park. So look out for those things. Lastly, we kindly accept donations. Please consider giving whatever you can give to us out there. We have some donation boxes. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks so much for coming, and we'll end our concert with a tune that is not exactly an old tune, not exactly a new tune. It's called A Night in Tunisia, made famous, of course, by Dizzy Gillespie, who made the piece. It's a mix of Afro-Cuban rhythms and straight swing rhythms, and this arrangement is for big band. We like it a lot. We enjoy playing it. So thanks for coming. We'll send you off with A Night in Tunisia. Ben Henniger on trumpet. And we heard Dave Wiemeister earlier, too. Bob Johnson on trombone. Scott Jornes, very saxophone.